Elena Martinez stood in the glass-walled gym of Pinnacle Fitness, sweat dripping from her brow, her fists clenched as CEO Victor Lang's voice sliced through the air. "Keep up, Martinez. Or is your girlfriend distracting you again?" His mocking laugh echoed, sharp enough to make her skin crawl, but she gritted her teeth and powered through another set, her muscles burning as fiercely as her pride. She was 28, a mid-level marketing analyst with a fire in her gut, and a dream bigger than the skyscrapers of Manhattan. Pinnacle Fitness, a multi-billion-dollar empire, was her battleground, and Victor, 50, smug, and perpetually tan, was her daily tormentor. His taunts about her being a lesbian weren't just cruel. They were calculated, designed to undermine her in front of colleagues during the company's mandatory executive workout sessions. Yet Elena refused to break. She'd spent her life fighting for her identity, her place in a cutthroat corporate world, and for Sophie, the woman who made her heart race faster than any treadmill. The gym buzzed with the hum of machines and the clink of weights, but Elena's focus was razor-sharp. She'd been at Pinnacle for 3 years, clawing her way up from an entry-level role. Her colleagues respected her, but Victor? He saw her as a target. "You're tough, Martinez," he'd sneer, "but not tough enough for the C-suite. Stick to your lifestyle choices." Each jab stung, but Elena channeled it into her work-brilliant campaigns, record-breaking membership drives, ideas that kept Pinnacle ahead of the curve. She wasn't just good. She was exceptional, and Victor hated it. That evening, as the sun dipped below the New York skyline, Elena met Sophie Chun at their favorite spot in Central Park. Sophie, 30, was a freelance illustrator with a quiet strength that grounded Elena's fire. Her dark eyes sparkled under the fading light as she pulled Elena into a hug. "He's an idiot," Sophie murmured, her voice soft but firm. "You're better than him, and he knows it." Elena exhaled, the weight of the day lifting as Sophie's warmth enveloped her. They sat on a bench, hands entwined, watching joggers and dog walkers pass by. "I'm not giving up," Elena said, her voice steady. "Not on us, not on my career. I'll prove him wrong." Their love had bloomed 2 years ago at a crowded art gallery opening. Elena, there to network, had been drawn to Sophie's quiet confidence as she explained her artwork, a vibrant painting of 2 women dancing under a starry sky. They talked until the gallery closed, their connection instant and electric. Now, Sophie was Elena's anchor, her reason to keep fighting even when Victor's words cut deep. "You're my masterpiece," Sophie whispered, kissing Elena's forehead. Elena smiled, but a knot of worry tightened in her chest. Victor's mockery was escalating, and she sensed something darker brewing. Back at Pinnacle, the next morning was chaos. Victor had called an emergency meeting, his face redder than usual as he barked about a rival company, Apex Pulse, stealing market share. Elena presented a bold marketing plan, targeted ads, influencer partnerships, a viral campaign celebrating inclusivity. The room applauded, but Victor's eyes narrowed. "Cute," he said, his tone dripping with disdain. "But we don't need rainbows to sell gym memberships." The room fell silent and Elena's cheeks burned. She wanted to scream, but she swallowed it, her resolve hardening. She'd show him. She'd show them all. Days turned into weeks, and Victor's taunts grew relentless. During workouts, he'd single her out. "What's wrong, Martinez? Too busy planning your pride parade." Colleagues shifted uncomfortably, but no one spoke up. Elena's anger simmered, but she channeled it into her work, staying late to perfect pitches, analyzing data, and dreaming up campaigns that could redefine Pinnacle's brand. She wasn't just fighting for herself, she was fighting for every person who'd ever been made to feel small. One rainy afternoon, Sophie surprised Elena at the office with coffee and a sketchpad. "I drew you," Sophie said, revealing a pencil sketch of Elena standing tall, a warrior in a suit, her eyes fierce. Elena's throat tightened. "This is how I see you," Sophie said. "Unstoppable." They kissed, hidden in the corner of the break room, and for a moment the world felt right. But as Sophie left, Victor passed by, his smirk venomous. "Nice display," he muttered. "Keep that out of my company." Elena's fists clenched, but she held her tongue. She couldn't afford to lose this job, not yet. The turning point came during a high-stakes board meeting. Elena pitched a revolutionary app feature, personalized workout plans for marginalized communities, including LGBTQ+ members. The board loved it, but Victor scoffed. We're not a charity for your agenda, he snapped. Elena stood her ground, her voice steady. This isn't charity. It's smart business. Inclusivity drives loyalty. The room buzzed with agreement, and for the first time Victor looked unsettled. That night Elena told Sophie, I think I got through to them. Sophie grinned. You're changing the game, babe. But Victor wasn't done. The next day he cornered Elena in the gym. You think you're untouchable now? He hissed. I built this company. You're nothing. His words hit like a punch, but Elena stared him down. I'm more than you'll ever understand, she said, her voice low and fierce. She walked away, heart pounding, knowing she'd crossed a line. Victor's face haunted her, but so did Sophie's sketch, her own strength staring back at her. Weeks later everything changed. Victor didn't show up for the morning workout. Whispers spread. A heart attack, sudden, fatal. Elena felt a strange mix of shock and relief, but nothing prepared her for what came next. At the will reading, the lawyer's words stunned the room. Victor had left Pinnacle Fitness to Elena. Not to his deputy, not to his board, but to her, the woman he'd mocked relentlessly. The room erupted in murmurs and Elena's heart raced. Why her? Was this his final jab or something else? Elena sat in the lawyer's office, her hands trembling as she clutched the legal documents. Pinnacle Fitness, a company valued at $2.3 billion, was now hers. The weight of it felt like a barbell across her chest, exhilarating, terrifying, and utterly surreal. Victor's will offered no explanation, only a single line. To Elena Martinez, I leave my legacy. Legacy? The word felt like a taunt, a puzzle she couldn't solve. Had he seen something in her he'd never admitted? Or was this his cruelest joke yet, setting her up to fail? The news spread like wildfire. Colleagues whispered in the break room, their eyes darting to Elena as she walked past. Some congratulated her, their smiles tight. Others avoided her gaze, their resentment palpable. She was 28, a Latina lesbian with no executive experience, now tasked with leading a corporate giant. The board was skeptical, the media ruthless. Headlines screamed, Lesbian analyst inherits fitness empire, can she handle it? Elena's phone buzzed with notifications, but she silenced it, her focus on the one person who mattered, Sophie. That night, in their small Brooklyn apartment, Sophie poured 2 glasses of wine and pulled Elena onto the couch. You're going to crush this, Sophie said, her voice steady as she traced circles on Elena's hand. Victor was a jerk, but he wasn't stupid. He saw what you're capable of. Elena shook her head, doubt gnawing at her. What if I fail? What if this is just his way of watching me crash? Sophie's eyes softened. Then you'll rebuild. You always do. They kissed, slow and grounding, and Elena felt a spark of courage reignite. The next morning, Elena stepped into Victor's office, now hers on the 40th floor of Pinnacle's Manhattan headquarters. The sleek desk, the city view, the weight of expectation, it was overwhelming. She found a handwritten note tucked in a drawer, Victor's scrawl unmistakable. Prove me wrong, Martinez. Her jaw tightened. Was this a challenge? An apology? She'd never know, but she'd damn well take it. Her first act as CEO was to greenlight the inclusivity campaign she'd pitched. The board resisted, citing costs and brand risks, but Elena stood firm. This is the future, she said, her voice carrying a conviction that silenced the room. She hired a diverse team, including LGBTQ+ consultants, to ensure authenticity. The campaign launched with a video featuring real members, trans athletes, queer couples, people of color sharing their fitness journeys. It went viral, trending on X with millions of views. Pinnacle's stock soared and Elena's name was everywhere. But success came with shadows. Anonymous emails flooded her inbox, accusing her of pushing an agenda or ruining Victor's vision. Some were from within the company. At night, Elena lay awake, Sophie's arm around her, wondering if she was strong enough. Sophie sensed it, whispering, "You're not alone in this." They'd started dreaming of a Futuria house, maybe kids, but the pressure of Pinnacle threatened to steal those dreams. Elena vowed to protect them. One evening at a company gala, Elena overheard board members plotting to oust her. "She's too young to. Different," one muttered. Victor would have hated this. Rage flared in Elena's chest, but she kept her composure, smiling as she mingled with investors. Later, she confided in Sophie, who suggested a bold move. Show them who you are. Not just as CEO, but as you. Inspired, Elena planned a company-wide town hall to address the rumors and rally her team. The town hall was electric. Elena stood on stage, her blazer sharp, her voice steady. I'm not Victor, she began. I'm Elena Martinez, a queer Latina who's fought for every inch of this role. I'm here to make Pinnacle a place where everyone belongs. She shared her story, her struggles, her love for Sophie, her vision for an inclusive future. The room erupted in applause, but not everyone was swayed. A senior VP, Richard Holt, walked out, his face a mask of disdain. Holt became her biggest obstacle. He rallied dissenters, leaking internal memos to the press, painting Elena as inexperienced. She countered with results. Membership grew 15% in 3 months, driven by her campaign. Still, Holt's sabotage intensified. He spread rumors that Elena was misusing company funds, forcing her to hire auditors to clear her name. The stress was relentless, but Sophie was her rock, sketching late into the night to keep Elena grounded. One sketch of Phoenix rising from ashes became Elena's mantra. She would rise no matter what. Then came a breakthrough. Digging through Victor's old files, Elena found a journal. Its pages revealed a man wrestling with guilt, his entries cryptic but telling. Martinez sees what I never could. Strength and difference. Had Victor mocked her to push her? To test her? The realization was bittersweet, but it fueled her. She doubled down, launching a scholarship for underrepresented youth to access Pinnacle's gyms. The initiative won hearts, even among skeptics. As winter settled over New York, Elena faced her biggest test. A shareholder meeting where Holt planned to challenge her leadership. She prepared meticulously, her team behind her, Sophie by her side. The night before, they walked through a snowy Central Park, hand in hand. You've got this, Sophie said, her breath visible in the cold. Elena nodded, her heart full. She wasn't just fighting for Pinnacle, she was fighting for them. For a world where love like theirs could thrive. The shareholder meeting loomed like a storm over Manhattan, the skyline gray and heavy with snow. Elena stood in her office, staring at the city below, her reflection faint in the glass. She was 28, leading a billion-dollar company, and yet the weight of doubt still pressed against her. Victor's taunts, Holt's schemes, the world's scrutiny. But Sophie's voice echoed in her mind. You're a phoenix, Elena. Rise. She straightened her blazer, grabbed her notes and headed to the boardroom. The room was a sea of suits, eyes sharp and skeptical. Holt sat at the far end, his smirk barely concealed. Elena took the podium, her heart pounding but her voice steady. Pinnacle is thriving, she began, projecting confidence. She presented the numbers. 20% revenue growth, a 30% spike in social media engagement, and a membership base more diverse than ever. This is what happens when we embrace everyone, she said, her gaze sweeping the room. Murmurs of approval rippled through, but Holt stood, his voice cutting in. Impressive stats, Ms. Martinez, but at what cost? He said, his tone oily. Your focus on certain communities is alienating our core customers. Victor built this company on strength, not social experiments. The room tensed and Elena's blood boiled. She leaned forward, her eyes locked on his. Victor left this company to me, she said, her voice like steel. And strength isn't exclusion, it's lifting everyone up. The shareholders applauded, but Holt's allies exchanged glances. The fight wasn't over. After the meeting, Elena found a new email in her inbox, an anonymous tip about Holt's dealings with Apex Pulse, Pinnacle's rival. It hinted at leaked trade secrets. Her hand shook as she forwarded it to her legal team. If true, Holt was a traitor, and this was her chance to end his sabotage. She worked late, digging through financial records, her eyes burning from the screen. Sophie brought her takeout, curling up on the office couch with her sketchpad. You're close, Sophie said, sketching Elena's determined face. Don't let him win. The investigation moved fast. Within days, evidence surfaced. Emails showing Holt had shared Pinnacle's marketing strategies with Apex Pulse for a hefty payout. Elena confronted him in a closed-door meeting, her voice calm but lethal. Resign or I take this to the board. Holt's face paled, but he sneered. You'll never last here, Martinez. You're not one of us. She didn't flinch. I'm exactly who Pinnacle needs. Holt resigned that night, his exit quiet but seismic. The victory was sweet, but the war wasn't won. The media pounced, spinning Holt's departure as proof of Elena's ruthless leadership. X-posts swirled with hashtags, Pinnacle Drama Queer CEO. Some praised her. Others called her a diversity hire out of her depth. Elena felt the pressure closing in, but Sophie kept her grounded. One night, they danced in their apartment to soft jazz, Sophie's arms around Elena's waist. You're rewriting the rules, Sophie whispered. For us, for everyone. Elena kissed her, their love a shield against the noise. Elena doubled down on her vision. She launched a mental health initiative, integrating wellness coaches into Pinnacle's gyms, with a focus on supporting queer youth. The program was a hit, earning praise from community leaders and boosting memberships. But the board remained divided, some still loyal to Victor's old guard. Elena knew she had to unify them. She organized a retreat in upstate New York, a chance to align the team. Over campfires and strategy sessions, she shared her story, her struggles as a queer Latina, her love for Sophie, her dream for Pinnacle. Slowly, skeptics softened, drawn to her authenticity. But personal challenges loomed. Sophie's art career was taking off, with galleries demanding her time. Elena's long hours strained their relationship, and one night, over dinner, Sophie's voice cracked. I'm proud of you, but I miss us, she said. Elena's heart sank. She'd been so focused on Pinnacle, she'd neglected the woman who made it all bearable. I'll fix this, Elena promised, pulling Sophie close. They planned a weekend getaway, a reminder of their bond. Under a starry Adirondack sky they made love, their laughter mingling with the rustle of leaves. We're unstoppable together, Sophie said, and Elena believed her. Back at Pinnacle, Elena faced a new crisis, a data breach. Customer information had leaked, and fingers pointed at her inclusivity campaign, claiming it had distracted from security. Elena worked around the clock, hiring cybersecurity experts and addressing customers directly on X. We'll make this right, she posted, her transparency earning trust. The breach was traced to a third-party vendor, not her campaign, and Pinnacle's reputation held strong. But the ordeal left Elena exhausted, questioning if she could keep going. Then, a letter arrived from Victor's sister, Clara, who'd been silent since his death. Victor admired you, it read. He was too proud to say it, but your fire reminded him of his younger self. He believed in you. Tears stung Elena's eyes. Victor's mockery had been a twisted test, his bequest a begrudging act of faith. She shared the letter with Sophie, who smiled. He saw what I see, Sophie said. A leader. As spring bloomed, Elena prepared for Pinnacle's annual gala, a chance to cement her legacy. She invited Sophie as her date, a bold move in a room full of old money investors. They walked in hand, Elena in a sleek tuxedo, Sophie in a flowing dress, their love unapologetic. Whispers followed, but Elena didn't care. She was rewriting Pinnacle's story and her own. The gala was a glittering affair, held in a Manhattan ballroom draped in gold and crystal. Elena stood at the center, her tuxedo sharp, Sophie radiant beside her. The crowd buzzed, investors, influencers, employees, all watching the woman who'd turned Pinnacle Fitness into a beacon of change. But beneath the glamour, Elena felt the weight of every eye, every whisper. She was 28, a queer Latina leading a corporate empire, and tonight, she'd either solidify her place or falter under scrutiny. Her speech was the night's centerpiece. She took the stage, her voice steady but warm. Pinnacle isn't just about fitness, it's about belonging, she said. We're building a world where everyone, no matter who they love or who they are, feels seen. She spoke of the inclusivity campaign, the mental health initiative, the scholarship program. She shared a story of a queer teen who'd found confidence in a Pinnacle gym, her voice breaking with emotion. The room erupted in applause, and Sophie's proud smile lit up Elena's heart. But not everyone clapped. A few board members sat stone-faced, their loyalty still tied to Victor's era. After the speech, an investor approached a silver-haired man with a skeptical frown. Bold moves, Ms. Martinez, but risky. Are you sure this is what Victor wanted? Elena met his gaze. Victor left me his company because he trusted me to lead it forward. I'm doing just that. He nodded, unconvinced but intrigued. Sophie squeezed her hand under the table, a silent reminder, "You've got this." The next challenge came swiftly. A rival Fitcore launched a smear campaign, accusing Pinnacle of cutting corners on equipment safety to fund Elena's woke initiatives. The claims were baseless, but they spread fast on X, fueled by trolls and Holt's lingering allies. Elena's team traced the campaign to a PR firm with ties to Fitcore, and she fought back with transparency. Third-party safety audits, live Q&As, and a bold ad campaign showcasing Pinnacle's rigorous standards. Customers rallied, posting gym selfies with Pinnacle pride. The crisis passed, but it left Elena drained, her nights haunted by self-doubt. Sophie noticed. One evening as they cooked dinner in their cramped kitchen, Sophie set down her knife and pulled Elena close. "You're carrying too much," she said. "Let me in." Elena confessed her fears, failing Pinnacle, failing Sophie, failing herself. Sophie listened, then cupped Elena's face. "You're enough. You've always been enough." They made a pact. No matter how busy life got, they'd carve out time for each other. That weekend they escaped to the Hudson Valley, hiking trails and stealing kisses under oak trees. It was a reset, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Back at Pinnacle, Elena tackled the board's resistance. She invited them to a community event at a Brooklyn gym, where queer youth shared how Pinnacle's programs had changed their lives. One teen, Mia, spoke of finding a safe space after years of bullying. "Ms. Martinez gets it," Mia said, her voice trembling. "She's one of us." The board members shifted, some visibly moved. Elena seized the moment, announcing a partnership with local schools to expand the scholarship program. Even the skeptics couldn't deny the impact. But the past wasn't done with her. A former colleague, now at Apex Pulse, leaked an old email from Victor, written months before his death. It called Elena a diversity hire with potential, but too emotional. The media pounced, framing it as proof she was unfit. Elena's heart sank, but she refused to hide. She posted on X. "Victor wasn't perfect, but he chose me. I'm not here to be perfect, I'm here to make a difference." The response was overwhelming, thousands of likes, shares, and stories from people inspired by her leadership. Sophie framed the post, hanging it in their apartment. "This is you," she said. "Unstoppable." Elena's next move was personal. She proposed to Sophie on a quiet Sunday morning, kneeling in their living room with a simple gold ring. "You're my home," Elena said, tears in her eyes. Sophie said yes, laughing through her own tears, and they spent the day planning a future that felt closer than ever. The engagement gave Elena new strength. She wasn't just leading Pinnacle, she was building a legacy for the life she and Sophie would share. As summer approached, Elena faced a final hurdle, a merger offer from Fitcore. It was tempting financial security, less pressure, but it would mean diluting her vision. She declined, choosing to grow Pinnacle independently. The board backed her, swayed by her track record. At a company-wide meeting, she shared the decision, earning cheers from employees. "We're not just a company," she said. "We're a movement." For the first time, she felt truly in command, her doubts fading. But the biggest moment was yet to come. Elena and Sophie began planning their wedding, a celebration of love and resilience. They chose a venue overlooking Central Park, where their journey had deepened. As they stood together, envisioning their future, Elena felt Victor's shadow lift. She wasn't just proving him wrong, she was proving herself right. The wedding day dawned bright, the September sun casting golden light over Central Park. Elena stood in a tailored white suit, her dark curls loose, her hazel eyes bright with anticipation. Sophie, in a flowing gown that shimmered like moonlight, walked toward her, their hands meeting under a canopy of autumn leaves. The crowd, friends, family, Pinnacle employees watched in awe as two women, bound by love and defiance, vowed to face the world together. "You're my strength," Elena whispered in her vows. "And I'm yours," Sophie replied, her voice steady. They kissed, the park erupting in cheers, a moment of pure triumph. But triumph hadn't come easily. Elena, now 29, had spent the past year transforming Pinnacle Fitness into a global force for inclusion. Her leadership had doubled memberships, expanded the scholarship program to 10 cities, and earned Pinnacle a spot on Fortune's Most Innovative Companies list. Yet every step had been a battle against skeptics, against her own fears, against the ghost of Victor Lang. His mockery once haunted her, but now it fueled her. She'd turned his empire into something he'd never imagined, a place where everyone belonged. The merger rejection had been a gamble, but it paid off. Pinnacle launched a new line of eco-friendly gym equipment, designed with input from diverse communities. The campaign, featuring real members' stories, went viral, cementing Elena's reputation as a visionary. X buzzed with praise. Elena Martinez is redefining fitness. One post read, shared thousands of times. Even the board, once divided, now rallied behind her. At a recent meeting, a former skeptic shook her hand. "You're the future," he said. Elena smiled, thinking of Sophie's sketches, her phoenix rising. But the personal meant as much as the professional. Elena and Sophie had fought to keep their love strong amid the chaos of her CEO role. Weekly date nights, stolen moments in their apartment, and quiet walks in the park kept them grounded. Sophie's art flourished, her latest exhibit featuring a portrait of Elena titled Firekeeper. At the opening, Elena stood beside her, marveling at how Sophie captured her essence: fierce, vulnerable, unbreakable. "This is us," Sophie said, kissing her cheek. "Forever." The final test came unexpectedly. A lawsuit from a former board member, loyal to Victor, claimed Elena had misrepresented Pinnacle's finances. It was a last-ditch effort to discredit her, but Elena was ready. Her legal team dismantled the case, proving the accusations false. The victory was public, with headlines praising her integrity. On X, a user posted, "Elena Martinez is what leadership looks like." Sophie printed it, tacking it beside their engagement photo. "Told you," she teased. As the wedding reception unfolded, Elena took the microphone, her voice carrying over the laughter and music. "This isn't just our day," she said, her arm around Sophie. "It's for everyone who's ever been told they don't belong. You do. And we'll keep fighting for that." The crowd roared and Sophie pulled her into a dance, their bodies swaying to a slow song. For the first time, Elena felt free not just from Victor's shadow, but from the need to prove herself. Months later, Elena stood in Pinnacle's flagship gym, now a community hub with free classes for queer youth and low-income families. Mia, the teen from the Brooklyn event, approached her, now a confident young woman training to be a fitness coach. "You changed my life," Mia said, hugging her. Elena's eyes welled up. This was her legacy, not just a company, but a movement that lifted others. That night, Elena and Sophie sat on their balcony, the city sparkling below. "We did it," Elena said, her hand in Sophie's. "No," Sophie corrected, smiling. "You did it. And I'm so damn proud." They clinked glasses, the future stretching before them, full of challenges. Yes, but also love, purpose, and possibility. Elena thought of Victor's note. "Prove me wrong, Martinez." She had. But more importantly, she'd proven herself right. She wasn't just the CEO who'd been mocked for being a lesbian, she was the leader who'd turned pain into power, building a world where love like hers and Sophie's could shine. As they watched the skyline, Elena felt a quiet certainty. This was only the beginning. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to get notifications about next videos.